the Proud Boys has been sentenced to prisons for roles in January 6th Capitol breach. So, if you don't remember, this took place back in January 6th of 2021. And basically, the Proud Boys gathered an organized mob to go and storm the Capitol. And you have to realize this is the U.S. Capitol building. This is just not some regular building. This is the U.S. Capitol building that they are storming here. With that being said, a lot of people were surprised at how lenient this was being handled by law enforcement. There were no law enforcement in military gear like there was during the Mike Brown and Baltimore uprisings, when people were actually unjustly unalived or unjustly beaten, when we actually had a reason to uprise. They want to use military gear. But as you can see here, with no set clear reason to why they're even storming the Capitol building, they just let it happen. And let's not forget, the only officer that actually did do something was the black officer. And basically, they left him there for the okie doke. He's the only one who actually did something, and they didn't give him any type of warning, any type of assistance. They didn't do any of that. They just left him there for dead. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of law enforcement was in on this as well. That's why they were so lenient on this, because they were in on it as well. And this was planned. But a few days ago, 2 of the Proud Boy leaders was actually sentenced to prison time. Ethan Nordin, 32, of Auburn, Washington, was sentenced to 18 years in prison and 36 months of supervised release. Dominique Pozzolo, 45, of Rochester, New York, was sentenced to 10 years in prison and 36 months of supervised release. A jury convicted Nordin, Pozzolo, and 3 other co-defendants on May 4th of multiple felonies, including obstruction of an official proceeding and conspiracy to prevent members of Congress or federal officers from discharging their duties before and during the breach of the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. Defendant Nordin was previously convicted of seditious conspiracy. According to court documents and evidence presented during the trial, the Proud Boys organized, played a significant and often violent role in Washington, D.C. rallies in November and December 2020. In the aftermath of that violent conduct, Nordin and other co-defendants served as members and leaders of special chapters of the Proud Boys known as the Ministry of Self-Defense. So basically what they were trying to do, they were trying to interrupt the electoral college process, which they failed at, because even after doing all that, all they did was get sentenced to prison, and they didn't stop anything from happening. So yeah, these are just a lot of entitled people. Most of these people have good careers, and they felt because the election wasn't going their way, they had a right to storm the Capitol. But when we actually have a good reason to uprise, then it's World War III on us. They take out tanks, military gear, I mean, the whole nine. And a lot of these uprisings is kids, 15, 16, 17 years old. So you doing all that for some kids? Like, come on, make it make sense.